Monster Trucks is a 2016 American live-action animated monster comedy film produced by Paramount Animation, Nickelodeon Movies, and Disruption Entertainment for Paramount Pictures. It was directed by Chris Wedge, in both his live-action directorial debut and first directorial effort outside of his own company Blue Sky Studios, and written by Derek Connolly, from a story by Matthew Robinson, Jonathan Abel, and Glenn Berger. 4. The film stars Lucas Till, Jane Levy, Amy Ryan, Rob Lowe, Danny Glover, Barry Pepper, Thomas Lennon, and Holt McCallany, and follows Trip Coley, a young junkyard employee who finds a subterranean creature living in his truck. The film was first released on December 21, 2016, in France, then on January 13, 2017, in the United States. It received mixed reviews from critics and was considered by analysts to be a box office bomb, grossing $64.5 million worldwide against a $125 million budget. 567. Plot. Teravix Oil is in the midst of a fracking operation in North Dakota, overseen by CEO Reese Tennyson and geologist Jim Dowd. The operation releases a trio of squid-like creatures from underground and destroys the drilling rig. 2 are captured by Teravix, but one of them escapes. Meanwhile, high school senior Trip Coley has taken up a job at a junkyard, where he builds a pickup truck in hopes of being able to leave his town, but the truck lacks a working drivetrain. One night, Trip encounters the escaped creature in the junkyard and captures it, but the creature escapes before he can seek authorities. The next day, Trip discovers that the creature feeds on oil and has taken shelter in the hood of his truck. He befriends him, names him Creech, and promises to help him get home. Trip modifies the truck to give Creech more control as a makeshift engine. The truck acts as a wheelchair for Creech to operate. Meanwhile, Tennyson is still concerned about the incident at the drilling rig, since similar experiments have revealed the existence of other creatures. He decides to protect the company's image by drilling poison into a hole leading to the underwater tunnels, and by sending hired mercenary Burke to kill their captured creatures, to the objection of Dowd, as he finds the monsters have significant intelligence and emotions as well as a hive mind intelligence that allows both of the captured specimens to learn what was taught to one. Trip and his classmate Meredith, whom he has told about Creech, seek help from his estranged father Wade, but Wade sells Trip out to Burke. Trip and Meredith escape in the truck with Creech and are chased by Burke and his team along with Rick, the local sheriff and Trip's stepfather. They escape by jumping over a MRL local with an EMD MP-15 DC lead train, and camping at a hunting cabin. When Creech gets the sense something bad will happen to the other creatures, he heads to Teravix headquarters where they are being held captive. Trip and Meredith follow Creech. When they arrive, they find Creech's parents, but are attacked by Teravix workers. Creech is captured, and Trip and Meredith are taken to Tennyson. Dowd decides to help Trip and Meredith rescue the creatures. They acquire 2 more trucks and modify the trucks for Creech's parents to control. Dowd helps the group by stealing the Teravix truck on which Creech's parents are loaded. At the dealership, the creatures take control of the modified trucks, and the group make their escape up the mountain leading to the tunnels. Teravix gives chase up the mountain and the group escapes. On the way, Rick helps Trip and the group escape from Burke, preventing Burke from ramming them off the road and later stealing a large truck to block the road to prevent further pursuit. After realizing the poison has been inserted, Trip gets into a head-on battle with Burke, who attempts to push him into the drilling hole, but it ends when Trip and Creech overturn Burke's truck, destroying the poison machine and apparently killing Burke when his truck is thrown into the equipment. Creech saves Trip from drowning before he and his parents return underground, while Teravix is exposed for the experimentation that was harming the creature's habitat. Tennyson is arrested for his crimes. Trip and Rick grow closer and rebuild a V8 engine for the truck, and Trip and Meredith begin a relationship. Cast: Lucas Till 8 as Trip Coley, a high school senior. Jane Levy 8 as Meredith, Trip's tutor and love interest. Amy Ryan 9 as Cynthia Cindy Coley, Trip's mother, Wade's ex-wife, and Rick's new live-in wife. Rob Lowe 10 as Reese Tennyson, the CEO of Teravix. Danny Glover 11 as Mr. Weathers, Trip's paraplegic boss. Barry Pepper 12 as Sheriff Richard Rick Lovick, the local sheriff, Cindy's new live-in husband, and Trip's stepfather. Holt McCallany 13 as Burke, Reese's henchman. Frank Whaley 11 as Wade Coley, Tripp's estranged father and Cindy's ex-husband. Thomas Lennon 14 as Dr. Jim Dowd, a scientist. Tucker Albreza 15 as Sam Golden, Tripp's friend. Samara Weaving as Brienne. Daniel Bacon as technician. Alia O'Brien as junior scientist. Production. On July 31, 2013, Paramount Animation announced that they were developing a new live-action/animated franchise, with an entry film titled Monster Trucks, and Jonathan Abel and Glenn Berger set to write the film's script. The pitch was created by Paramount's president Adam Goodman alongside his 4-year-old son. 16 Chris Wedge was set to direct the film, with Mary Parent producing and an initial release date set for May 29, 2015. 417 production took place in Vancouver Film Studios in Vancouver, British Columbia. 18 On February 19, 2014, Jane Levy and Lucas Till joined the cast of the film. 8/19 On March 24, Amy Ryan was cast in a role 9 and later that week, Holt McCallany joined the cast as a villain. 13 On April 1, Frank Whaley and Danny Glover joined the cast of the film. 11 later that month, Thomas Lennon joined as well. 14 And on April 14, Barry Pepper joined the cast. 12 On April 24, Tucker Albreza, who starred in Nickelodeon's TV show Big Time Rush, joined the cast. 15 with Rob Lowe added 5 days later. 10/20. In December 2013, it was announced that the film's production would begin in early April 2014 in Vancouver. 21 with filming wrapping up in mid-July, and the studio Vancouver Film Studios was booked for the production. 18 Principal photography began on April 4, 2014, in Kamloops. 22 Filming was spotted on May 13, 2014, in downtown Chilliwack. 23/24. Release. The release date was shifted several times. It was initially set for May 29, 2015, 25, 26, 27, but on January 26, 2015, the film was pushed back to December 25, 2015, a date first assigned for Mission Impossible: Rogue Nation. 28 On May 5, 2015, the film was pushed back again, to March 18, 2016. 29 On November 10, 2015, the film's release date was pushed back one final time, to January 13, 2017. 30. On September 21, 2016, The Hollywood Reporter stated Paramount would take a $115 million write-down on the film because of its expected poor performance at the box office. 31. Home media. Monster Trucks was released on digital HD on March 28, 2017. 32 and on Blu-ray and DVD on April 11, 2017. 33. Reception. Box office. Monster Trucks grossed $33.4 million in the United States and Canada and $31.1 million in other territories, for a worldwide total of $64.5 million. 3. In North America, Monster Trucks was released alongside the openings of The Bye-Bye Man and Sleepless, as well as the wide releases of Silence, Patriots Day, and Live by Night, and was expected to gross $8 to $10 million from 3,119 theaters in its opening weekend. 34. It ended up making $11 million, $14.2 million over the 4-day Milk weekend, finishing 7th at the box office. 35. Due to its $125 million budget, as well as additional amounts spent on promotion, the film was considered by analysts to be a box office bomb. 567 Deadline Hollywood calculated the film lost Paramount $123.1 million, when factoring together all expenses and revenues. 36. Critical response. On review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes, the film has an approval rating of 32% based on 98 reviews and an average rating of 4.6/10. The website's critical consensus reads, "Despite flashes of inspiration, the singularly high-concept Monster Trucks shows that it takes more than monsters and trucks to create a compelling feature film." 37. On Metacritic, the film has a score of 41 out of 100 based on 23 critics, indicating mixed or average reviews. 38. Some contemporary reviews were more complimentary, however. Christy Pico cited it as a treasure that feels like a heady relic from the 90s in IndieWire's 2017 Critics Survey of the Craziest Hollywood Movies of the 21st Century. 39. While Sean Egan called it a live-action cartoon that recalls the goofy, good-hearted Amblin family films of yore in AM New York Metro's Best Films of 2017 list. 40. Further, audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of A on an A+ to F scale. 41. By 2021, the film's reputation had improved slightly, with Lisa Lehman of Looper observing that a cult following had developed for the film. 42. While Chris Evangelista penned an essay for The Guardian arguing for the film's merits. 43. Possible sequel. Lennon mentioned on his Twitter in 2022 that he is still under contract for 2 sequels. Lucas Daniel Till, born August 10, 1990, is an American actor. His work spans film and television, and his accolades include 5 Teen Choice Award nominations. Till began his career in the early 2000s with roles in independent films, before gaining early attention for his supporting role in the biopic Walk the Line, 2005. He had his breakthrough with romantic lead roles in the Disney film Hannah Montana, the movie and music videos for Taylor Swift's You Belong With Me and Miley Cyrus' The Climb, all 2009. The action comedies The Spy Next Door, 2010, and Monster Trucks, 2016, brought Till wider attention, and he portrayed Havoc in Marvel's X-Men prequel films, 2011 to 2016. Till next played the eponymous role in the CBS action crime drama series MacGyver, 2016 to 2021, a reboot of the 1980s series of the same name. He subsequently garnered critical acclaim for his portrayal of Bob Zellner in the historical biopic Son of the South, 2020, before starring in the action film The Collective, 2023. Early life and education. Lucas Daniel Till was born on August 10, 1990, in Fort Hood, Texas. He is the son of chemist Dana Lynn, née Brady, I and John Mark Till, a colonel in the Army. 234. He has a younger brother, Nick, b. 1997. Till spent most of his childhood living in the suburbs of Atlanta, Georgia. His family noticed he enjoyed impersonating voices and characters. When he was 11, his mother enrolled him in local acting classes, and it was not long before he was discovered by Joy Purvis, an agent from a talent agency in Atlanta. Till began booking almost immediately in print, local, regional, and national commercials. He later attended Kell High School. 5. After filming for the Hannah Montana movie in Nashville, Till went back home to graduate with the Kell High School class of 2008. 6. After graduation, he moved to Los Angeles, California, to continue acting. 6. Career. 2000s, early career and Hannah Montana film. In 2003, Till made his first film collaboration in the short film The Love Song of Edward J. Robel, in the role of Michael. 7. At the age of 12, he was cast in The Adventures of Ossie Nash, in which he played Harry Vanderbilt, the bully of the main character. 8. In 2004, Till played the role of Jay in the horror film Lightning Bug, which filmed in Fairview, Alabama. 9. And, later, he participated in the short film P-Shy 10 playing Chad. His first major movie role was Jack Cash, the older brother of Johnny Cash, who died in a sawmill accident, in the biographical film Walk the Line, 2005. 11. After Walk the Line, Till was featured in a number of television films for Lifetime and independent films. 8. For example, the following year, Till played the young Samuel North in a feature film The Other Side, filmed in Atlanta, Georgia. 12. In 2006, he also joined the cast of the Lifetime television film Not Like Everyone Else, portraying Kyle Kenny. 13. In 2008, Till starred as Jensen in Greg Bishop's horror comedy Dance of the Dead, which was handpicked by director Sam Raimi for distribution through Lionsgate Entertainment and Ghost House Pictures. 14. He was also invited to participate in the 5th season of the American television series House in the episode titled Joy to the World in the role of Simon, a high school student who has a romantic relationship with his schoolmate, but due to their social differences, they cannot be together. 15. 3 weeks before graduating from high school, Till auditioned for Hannah Montana, the movie, starring Miley Cyrus, and landed the role of Travis Brody, a young cowboy and Miley's friend who ends up becoming her love interest. 16. The role garnered Till 2 nominations at the 2019 Choice Awards, in the Choice Movie Actor, Music/Dance and Choice Movie, Lip Lock, shared with Cyrus, categories respectively. Citation needed. As part of the awards promotion campaign, Till recorded 3 short films: Not Another Changeling Movie, a parody of Angelina Jolie's movie Changeling 17, The Red Menace 18, and The Bourne Stupidity, a parody of the film The Bourne Identity. 19. In early 2009, he participated in the horror film Laid to Rest as a commercial employee. 20. He also participated in the episodes Scotophobia and Hydrophobia of the horror web series Fear Clinic, playing the character of Brett, a young man suffering from hydrophobia. 21. He starred in the music video for Taylor Swift's You Belong With Me as her next-door neighbor and love interest. 22. Till and Swift first met in 2008 while filming for Hannah Montana, the movie. In 2009, he participated in the 5th season of Medium in the role of Adam Mankiewicz in the episode titled Things to Do in Phoenix When You're Dead, 23, and on Leo Little's Big Show along with Emily Osment in the episode titled Hannah Montana, the movie. 24. He was also part of the starring cast in the movie The Lost and Found Family, released directly in DVD format and distributed by Sony Pictures Home Entertainment. His character was Justin, a young boy with some bad attitudes. 25. 2010s, career fluctuations and breakthrough with MacGyver. Till in 2014. In early 2010, Till played the role of a Russian agent in the film The Spy Next Door starring Jackie Chan. 26. That same year, he played Matt Parker, a high school quarterback in the first season of Blue Mountain State in the episode titled The Legend of the Golden Arm. 27. He also returned to collaborate in the co-production in an independent science fiction adventure film directed by Jason Trost, and in which he also plays Jack, a young man on vacation in Asia who realizes that his horrible dreams are becoming a reality and that reality is turning into a nightmare. The movie was called Vacation Ape. 28. In 2011, he was part of the cast of the Columbia Pictures produced action science fiction film Battle, Los Angeles as Corporal Grayston. 29. Till played Alex Summers/Havoc, a mutant who has the ability to absorb solar energy which he can then launch as plasma energy from his body in the X-Men spin-off X-Men, First Class, a superhero film produced by 20th Century Fox and Marvel Entertainment directed by Matthew Vaughn. 30. This role allowed him to receive a nomination for the 13th Teen Choice Awards in the Choice Movie, Chemistry category, shared with Jennifer Lawrence, Nicholas Hoult, Zoe Kravitz, Caleb Landry Jones, and Edi Gathaji. Citation needed. In 2011, the actor took his first steps into the world of audiovisual production, collaborating with the production of the independent superhero film All Superheroes Must Die, also known as VS 31, and in which he also plays the role of Ben/Cutthroat. In the film, 4 superheroes, one of whom is Till, are kidnapped by their arch-enemy and are forced to compete in a series of challenges to save an abandoned city full of kidnapped innocent civilians. Later that year, he collaborated on the music video accompanying the performance of Adele's song Someone Like You by Tony Aller. In the video, Till plays Tony's friend who gets in the way of their love affair. 32. Unreliable source. In 2011, he also made a commercial for an international brand of sports shoes. 33 Unreliable source. In 2012, Till returned to work in dramas by participating in the movie Dark Hearts in the role of Sam, a young man who travels to the city to spend time with his older brother and thus escape problems at home. 34 He next worked with Nicole Kidman on the 2013 film Stoker, in which he played a bragging young man named Chris Pitts. 35 He was also part of the starring cast in the direct-to-DVD film Crush as Scott Norris, a star member of the high school soccer team who, despite having a knee injury caused by a blow in a game, runs every morning. 36 That same year, he returned to collaborate with Jason Trost in the production of the independent comedy Wet and Reckless, and in which he played Toby Dollars. 37 He also participated with Liam Hemsworth, Gary Oldman, and Harrison Ford in the film Paranoia as Kevin, friend and co-worker of Adam, Liam Hemsworth. 38 In 2014, he returned to movies in the horror genre by participating in the film Wolves as Caden Richards, a high school student who is becoming a werewolf and who, after the murder of his parents, tries to discover the truth of who he really is. 39 And in the thriller and drama movie Sins of Our Youth as Tyler, alongside Joel Courtney, Mitchell Musso, and Bridger Zerdina. 40 He was also a co-producer on the horror and suspense film My 11th. 41 He also participated in the television series comedy Bang Bang. In the first episode of the third season, titled Patton Oswalt Wears a Black Blazer and Dress Shoes 42, and reprised his role as Havoc in X-Men, Days of Future Past, the sequel to 2011's First Class. 43 Till promoting MacGyver at the 2015 San Diego Comic-Con. In 2015, Till participated in the dramatic film Bravetown, originally titled Strings 44, playing the role of Josh Harvest, a DJ in his early and formative stage, and in the suspense movie The Curse of Downers Grove in the role of Bobby. 45 Both movies released directly in DVD format. In 2016, Till played Ben Phillips Jr. in the horror film The Disappointments Room 46 and returned as Havoc in X-Men, Apocalypse, the third installment in the X-Men prequel film series. 47 That same year, he began starring as Angus MacGyver in the television reboot of MacGyver, which airs on CBS. Mac is a secret agent of a United States government organization that uses his extraordinary talent to solve problems and his extensive knowledge of science to save lives. 48 Paramount Animation together with Nickelodeon Movies produced the comedy and adventure film titled Monster Trucks, directed by Blue Sky Studios founder Chris Wedge, in which Till starred as Trip. 4950 During 2016 and 2017, he started working on a project as a co-producer, the science fiction and suspense film Spectrum, playing the role of a young scientist named Connor. 51 He also participated in the one-hour animated television special titled Michael Jackson's Halloween, which premiered on CBS in October 2017, lending his voice to the character of Vincent, a young store clerk who wants to be a DJ. 52 In the same month, he participated with CBS Cares in a television campaign in support of hurricane relief in Puerto Rico after Hurricane Maria struck the area. 6. CBS renewed MacGyver, in which Till played the starring role, continuing his role in the second, third, and fourth seasons. This leading role allowed him to receive the nomination in 2018 in the 20th edition of the Teen Choice Awards in the category of Choice TV Actor, Action, a nomination that he also received in 2019 in the 21st broadcast of the Teen Choice Awards in the same category. 53 In addition to the leading role, Till collaborated in the production of the 13 episodes that make up the fourth season of the series. 54 In 2019, he collaborated again with CBS Cares in a television campaign in support of the fight against lupus. 55 2020's MacGyver finale and critical success in film. Till's portrayal of Bob Zellner, pictured in Son of the South, garnered critical acclaim. He renewed his contract in 2020 to continue his leading role in the fifth season of MacGyver. 56 Till has said in interviews that he was the subject of verbal abuse and body shaming from the showrunner of MacGyver, Peter Lenkoff. 57 Till reported being suicidal in the first year of the filming of MacGyver due to Lenkoff's abuse. 57 Lenkoff was later fired from CBS on July 7, 2020. 57 Till played Bob Zellner, the grandson of a member of the Ku Klux Klan, who joins the civil rights movement in the United States in the film Son of the South, based on Zellner's autobiography The Wrong Side of Murder Creek. 58 Written and directed by Barry Alexander Brown, the film received mixed reviews from critics, although Till's performance was widely praised. YouTube film critic Jackie K. Cooper praised his performance, saying Till does a very good job. 59 The New York Times and Variety also praised Till's performance. 60-61 In March 2024, Till was cast as Garrett Van Ness in the Netflix Western series The Abandoned 62 starring opposite Gillian Anderson and Nick Robinson. Filming began in spring the same year, after being delayed due to the 2023 Hollywood labor disputes. 63 Personal life. Around 2017 to 2018, Till began dating actress Skyla Samuels. In March 2024, Samuels revealed that the two had since gotten married and were currently residing in Till's hometown of Atlanta, Georgia. 64 In May 2024, Samuels announced that they had welcomed their first child earlier that year. Jane Colburn Levy, Levy born December 29, 1989, is an American actress. After attending the Stella Adler Studio of Acting, she debuted as the original Mandy Milkovich on the Showtime comedy drama Shameless, 2011. Levy left Shameless following its first season to portray the lead of the ABC sitcom Suburgatory from 2011 to 2014. Transitioning to film, Levy collaborated with director Fede Alvarez as the lead of the horror films Evil Dead, 2013, and Don't Breathe, 2016. She returned to television with series regular roles on the Hulu comedy drama There's Johnny, 2017, and horror fantasy Castle Rock, 2018, in addition to headlining the Netflix thriller miniseries What/If, 2019. From 2020 to 2021, Levy portrayed the title character of the NBC musical comedy drama Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist, for which she received a Golden Globe nomination for Best Actress, Television Series Musical or Comedy. Early life. Jane Colburn Levy was born on December 29, 1989 in Los Angeles, California, the second child of Mary, née Tilbury, an artist and florist, and Lester Levy, a musician turned mediator. Her father is Jewish, and her mother is of English, Scottish, and Irish descent. 4 She has one elder brother, Simon. 2 When Levy was an infant, her family relocated from Los Angeles to Northern California, settling in San Anselmo, where she was raised. 2 She attended Sir Francis Drake High School, where she was on the hip-hop dancing team and was captain of the soccer team. She began playing soccer at age 5. 5. Levy attended Goucher College in Baltimore, Maryland, for 1 year, where she played on the Division III varsity women's soccer team. 5 After experiencing significant depression during her first year of studies, Levy chose to drop out of Goucher College and instead opted to study acting. 6 She subsequently transferred to the Stella Adler Studio of Acting in New York City, where she graduated from the conservatory. 7. Career. 2010 to 2015. Levy in 2013. Levy moved to Los Angeles after 2 years in New York City. 8 She played the recurring character Mandy Milkovich, her first TV role, during the first season of the Showtime comedy drama Shameless in early 2011. In March 2011, she landed the first lead role of her career on the sitcom Suburgatory, with Jeremy Sisto and Cheryl Hines, resulting in Emma Greenwell replacing Levy in her Shameless role for season 2 onward. 9/10 On May 9, 2014, Suburgatory was cancelled by ABC after 3 seasons. Levy was named by both TV Guide and TheInsider.com as one of the breakout stars of 2011-11-12 and was included on the top 11 list of funniest women compiled by AOL. 13 Forbes named her as one of the handful of entertainment stars on their list of 30 under 30 who are reinventing the world, a list of the brightest stars of the future. 14-15 noting that Suburgatory was one of the big hits of the new TV season and that Levy would be seen in 2 upcoming films, Forbes called her one to watch. 16. Levy appeared in 2 films in 2012, Fun Size, the first feature from Gossip Girl creator Josh Schwartz, and Nobody Walks directed by Riri So-young and written by Lena Dunham. 17. Levy later starred in the 2013 remake of the horror classic The Evil Dead 18 as the drug-dependent Mia, replacing Lily Collins, who had originally been cast. 19. The following year, she starred in 2 independent films, About Alex and Bang Bang Baby. 2021. In 2015, Levy co-starred opposite Rene Russo and Oliver Platt in Frank and Cindy. 22. 2016, present. In 2016, Levy teamed up again with Evil Dead director Fede Alvarez, starring in horror film Don't Breathe, which tells the story of 3 friends breaking into the house of a wealthy blind man. 23. A sleeper hit, Don't Breathe received critical acclaim 24 and grossed over $156 million. 25. That same year, she starred with Lucas Till in Monster Trucks, Paramount Animation's first live-action/CGI film, directed by Ice Age's Chris Wedge. 26-27. In 2017, Levy appeared as Des in I Don't Feel at Home in This World Anymore directed by Macon Blair 28 and as Elizabeth in an episode of Showtime series Twin Peaks. 29. In November 2017, Levy starred in Hulu's There's Johnny as Joy Greenfield, the female lead. 30. That year, Levy also co-starred with Glenn Close in the Amazon pilot Sea Oak, written by George Saunders and directed by Hiro Murat. 31. In 2018, Levy appeared in Sony Crackle's zombie comedy Office Uprising 32 and starred as Jackie Torrance, niece of Stephen King's Jack Torrance, in Hulu's critically acclaimed Castle Rock, also inspired by King's work. 33-34. Levy starred in Mike Kelly's Netflix thriller miniseries What/If alongside Renee Zellweger and Blake Jenner. 35. She appeared in James Franco's romantic drama The Pretenders as Catherine, the female lead. 36. From 2020 to 2021, she starred as the titular character in Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist from NBC, which ran for 2 seasons. 37. Personal life. On March 3, 2011, Levy married actor Jamie Freitas. According to court documents, the couple separated on October 31, 2011. In April 2013, Levy filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. 38-39. Levy is currently in a relationship with actor Thomas McDonnell. 40. Their son was born in late 2024. Amy Beth Gioiankowski, born May 3, 1968, one known professionally as Amy Ryan, is an American actress. She began her professional stage career in 1987 and made her Broadway debut in 1993 as a replacement in the original production of Wendy Wasserstein's The Sisters Rosenzweig. She was nominated for the Tony Award for Best Featured Actress in a Play for her performances in Uncle Vanya, 2000, and A Streetcar Named Desire, 2005, and the Tony Award for Best Actress in a Play for Doubt, A Parable, 2024. For her breakthrough film role as a troubled single mother in the thriller Gone Baby Gone, 2007, Ryan was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress. Her other films include You Can Count on Me, 2000, Capote, 2005, Before the Devil Knows You're Dead, 2007, Changeling, 2008, Birdman, 2014, Bridge of Spies, 2015, The Infiltrator, 2016, and Beau is Afraid, 2023. On television, she played Beatty Russell in the HBO crime series The Wire, 2002 to 2008, and Holly Flax in the NBC sitcom The Office, 2008 to 2011, and has also featured in the HBO drama series In Treatment, 2010, the Hulu mystery comedy series Only Murders in the Building, 2021 to 2024, and the Apple TV Plus mystery series Sugar, 2024. Early life. Ryan was born Amy Beth Gioliankowski in Flushing, Queens, in New York City, the daughter of Pamela, née Ryan, 23 a nurse, and John Gioliankowski, a trucking business owner. She is of Polish, Irish, and English descent. For growing up in the 1970s, Ryan and her sister Laura delivered the daily news by bike. At a young age, Ryan attended the Staghetto Manor Performing Arts Center in upstate New York. At 17, she graduated from New York's High School of Performing Arts. 5 Hired for the national tour of Biloxi Blues right out of high school, Ryan worked steadily off-Broadway for the next decade. She chose her mother's maiden name as her stage name. 5. Career. 1987 to 2005, Broadway debut and early roles. Ryan made her off-Broadway debut in the West Side Theater's 1987 production of Ashana Madel, playing the role of Hannah. The following year she was seen in the Second Stage Theater Company's revival of The Rhymers of Eldritch. 6-7 additional off-Broadway credits include As Bees in Honey Drown, Crimes of the Heart and Saved. 8, 9, 10, 11 She also worked in regional theater, where she originated roles in new plays by Neil LaBute, Arthur Miller, and Neil Simon. On Broadway she has appeared as Tess in The Sisters Rosenzweig, Natasha in the 1997 revival of The Three Sisters, and Peggy in the 2001 to 2002 revival of The Women. 5-12. Following a brief stint playing a runaway on As the World Turns, Ryan was cast in television series such as I'll Fly Away. 5 After roles on ER and Chicago Hope, Ryan became a series regular on The Naked Truth as T. Leone's spoiled stepdaughter. 13-14 In 1993, she made her first appearance on NBC's Law and Order, appearing in several episodes over the years. 5. Ryan was nominated for the Tony Award for Best Performance by a Featured Actress in a Play twice, in 2000, for her portrayal of Sonia Alexandrovna in Uncle Vanya, and in 2005, for her performance as Stella Kowalski opposite John C. Reilly in A Streetcar Named Desire. 5-12-15-16. Because of the deletion of the scene where she played Eric Stoltz's wife in Allison Anders's Grace of My Heart, Ryan made her 1999 film debut in Roberta. 14 She then briefly appeared in You Can Count on Me, which starred Laura Linney and Mark Ruffalo. 5 And the mystery/thriller Keen. 5-14 By 2001, director Sidney Lumet cast her in 100 Center Street playing 3 different roles, Ellen, Paris, and Rebecca. 17 From 2003 to 2008 Ryan went on to feature prominently in HBO's crime drama series The Wire, playing Port Authority Officer Beatty Russell. 18-19 Albert Brooks chose her to play his wife in Looking for Comedy in the Muslim World in 2005, and 2007 brought both Dan in Real Life and Before the Devil Knows You're Dead. 5-17 Her role as a starstruck sheriff's wife in Capote 5 earned her positive reviews, but it was playing a hardened welfare mom in Ben Affleck's Gone Baby Gone that finally brought her national attention. 5-17-19. 2006 to 2017, breakthrough and acclaim. Ryan in 2007. After being voted Best Supporting Actress for Gone Baby Gone by the National Board of Review 20 as well as the critics' circles in New York, Los Angeles, Boston, San Francisco, and Washington, D.C., Ryan's performance was also nominated for a Golden Globe Award, a Screen Actors Guild Award 21 and an Oscar for Best Performance by an Actress in a Supporting Role at the 80th Academy Awards. 22. Ryan appeared in Changeling, 2008, directed by Clint Eastwood. 5 and opposite Matt Damon in Paul Greengrass's Green Zone, 2010. 5-23 In September 2010, she completed filming a role in Philip Seymour Hoffman's directorial film debut, Jack Goes Boating, taking over the role of Connie originally played by Beth Cole in the stage version. 18 Ryan received strong notices for her performance in Tom McCarthy's Win the next year, winning Best Supporting Actress awards from multiple regional critics groups. From 2008 to 2011 she appeared for a 6-episode arc on The Office as dorky HR rep Holly Flax. She reprised her role on The Office in seasons 5 and 7. 24 Ryan joined the cast of HBO's In Treatment for its 3rd season in 2010, playing the therapist of Dr. Paul Weston. 25. Ryan was a part of the core ensemble of the 2014 Best Picture Academy Award-winning film Birdman, sharing in the Cast Screen Actors Guild Award for Outstanding Performance by a Cast in a Motion Picture victory. In 2015, she starred as Mary Donovan opposite Tom Hanks in the film Bridge of Spies, and reunited with her In Treatment co-star Gabriel Byrne in Louder Than Bombs, the English-language debut of Joaquin Trier. Early the next year, Ryan was cast as Tracy, her first on-screen leading role. 26 In Abundant Acreage Available, a rural family drama from Junebug screenwriter Angus MacLachlan. Upon the film's premiere at the 2017 Tribeca Film Festival, Ryan drew universal acclaim for her performance, with the rap noting that she holds the screen no matter what she's doing and who she's with. 27 And Flavor Wire raving that Ryan sounds notes that are quietly dazzling in their complexity. 28. Variety chief film critic Peter DeBroog dubbed the performance a career highlight. It's a pleasure to see such a fine actress navigate the nuances of her role. Only on the big screen are we able to fully appreciate the minutely detailed nature of Ryan's performance, revealing Tracy's soul via the slightest narrowing of the eyes or the almost subliminal tensing of her cheekbones. As we know, Junebug earned Amy Adams an Oscar nomination, and if the world were fair, this role would bring another Amy similar attention. 29. Ryan received some of the best reviews of her career for her leading role in the Roundabout Theatre Company's 2016 production of Love, Love, Love. Ben Brantley of the New York Times praised her smashing comic performance. 30 The Hollywood Reporter called her work emotionally vital. 31 And the Associated Press raved that Ryan is absolutely magnetic, nailing her charming, unpredictable character with perfect comedic timing. 32. In an article exploring various famous actresses working on the stage, the Washington Post theater critic Peter Marks highlighted Ryan's work in the play. The revelation is not that Amy Ryan is good. It's that she's this good. Ryan, whose range has been apparent for years, in dramatic performances nominated for Tonys, Uncle Vanya, and Oscars, Gone Baby Gone, as well as in nuanced comic turns on television shows like The Office, manages a feat in love, love, love that she's never accomplished so fluidly before, taking charge. She delivers a front and center performance of such beguiling dynamism, in a thoroughly convincing English accent, that you feel this Roundabout Theatre Company production has done for her precisely what was intended. It exposes a new facet of her talent and leaves us with that uplifting itch, to be there the next time she's on a stage. 33. For her performance in Love, 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 Ryan won the Obie Award for Distinguished Performance by an Actress, and was nominated for the Drama Desk Award for Outstanding Actress in a Play. 34 And the Drama League Award for Distinguished Performance. 35. 2018, present. In 2018, Ryan co-starred in Beautiful Boy for Amazon Studios, a dark family drama, with her The Office co-star Steve Carell, and Timothy Chalamet. She was then among the ensemble cast of 2019's Late Night, the Mindy Kaling-penned comedy about a female late-night talk show host, Emma Thompson, and Strange But True, a noir thriller based on the novel by John Searles. 36-37 In 2020, Ryan starred as Mari Gilbert, a real-life woman searching for her missing daughter, in Netflix's mystery thriller Lost Girls. In 2021, Amy Ryan played Jan Bellows, a main role, in the first season of Hulu series Only Murders in the Building, co-starring with Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Selena Gomez. 38-39 in 2023 she appeared in Ari Aster's A24 black comedy psychological horror film Beau is Afraid starring Joaquin Phoenix. In the film she played Grace, who, alongside Nathan Lane's Roger, takes Beau in for a brief period of time. Robert Hepler Lowe, born March 17, 1964, 23 is an American actor, filmmaker, and entertainment host. Following numerous television roles in the early 1980s, he came to prominence as a teen idol and member of the Brat Pack with starring roles in The Outsiders, 1983, Class, 1983, The Hotel New Hampshire, 1984, Oxford Blues, 1984, St. Elmo's Fire, 1985, About Last Night, 1986, and Masquerade, 1988. Lowe was involved in a sex tape scandal in 1988, which stymied his career for many years afterward. For his notable credits during this time were supporting roles in comedy films such as Wayne's World, 1992, Tommy Boy, 1995, and Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me, 1999. By the turn of the millennium, his career saw a resurgence when he ventured back into television, making his breakthrough as Sam Seaborn on the NBC political drama The West Wing, 1999 to 2003, for which he received nominations for a Primetime Emmy Award and 2 Golden Globe Awards. His other television roles include Robert McAllister on the ABC drama Brothers and Sisters, 2006 to 2010, Chris Traeger on the NBC sitcom Parks and Recreation, 2010 to 2015, and as Captain Owen Strand on the Fox drama 9-1-1, Lone Star, 2020 to 2025. In 2018, he made his directorial debut with the television film The Bad Seed, a remake of the 1956 film of the same name. Early life. Robert Lowe was born in Charlottesville, Virginia, to Barbara, née Hepler, a teacher, and Charles Chuck Davis Lowe, a trial lawyer. 5 While still a baby, he lost complete hearing in his right ear as a result of undiagnosed mumps. 6 His parents divorced when Lowe and his younger brother Chad were young. 7 Lowe was baptized in the Episcopal Church. 8 He is of German, English, Irish, Scottish, and Welsh ancestry. On the show Who Do You Think You Are?, Lowe found out that one of his ancestors, Christopher East, served as a Hessian soldier during the U.S. War of Independence. His ancestor served under the command of Colonel Johann Gottlieb Rahl and was captured at the American victory at Trenton, New Jersey, on the morning of December 26, 1776. As a POW, his ancestor was given a choice, and took the option to stay in the United States. 9 He has 2 half-brothers from the second marriages of his parents, the producer Micah Dyer, maternal, and Justin Lowe, paternal. Lowe grew up in Dayton, Ohio, in a traditional American setting. 8 He attended Oakwood Junior High School before moving to the Point Dume area of Malibu, California, with his mother and brother. 10-11 In California, he attended Santa Monica High School, where he met Charlie Sheen. In his autobiography Stories I Only Tell My Friends, he wrote regarding Sheen, "We were both nerds, he wanted to be a baseball player." 12. On a March 25, 2019, episode of the WTF? With Mark Maron podcast, Lowe boasted that he was once capable of bench pressing 135 pounds as a senior member of Santa Monica High School's baseball team, which has become a reoccurring punchline on his Literally podcast. Career. This section of a biography of a living person needs additional citations for verification. Please help by adding reliable sources. Contentious material about living persons that is unsourced or poorly sourced must be removed immediately from the article and its talk page, especially if potentially libelous. Find sources: Rob Lowe, News Newspapers Book Scholar Jester, July 2017, Learn how and when to remove this message. 1976 to 1998, Early Roles and Leading Man Stardom. Lowe at the Governor's Ball Party after the 1989 Academy Awards. Lowe got his first professional acting role in 1976 when he was 12 and still living in Dayton. 13 He played an errand boy in a production of Sherlock Holmes at the Wright State University Summer Theater. He landed the part by calling every local theater and asking each if there was a part for a child in a play. Lowe was paid $150 for the role. In 1979, Lowe landed the part of Tony Flanagan in the short-lived television comedy A New Kind of Family. 14 One of Lowe's earliest roles came in the 1983 television film Thursday's Child, for which he received his first Golden Globe Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor in a Series, Miniseries, or Television Film. 15 He also appeared in the music video for the Go-Go's song, Turn to You. 16 His breakthrough role, however, was as Soda Pop Curtis in Francis Ford Coppola's 1983 cinematic adaptation of S.E. Hinton's novel, The Outsiders, where he shared the screen with an ensemble cast that included Tom Cruise, Matt Dillon, Emilio Estevez, Leif Garrett, C. Thomas Howell, Diane Lane, Ralph Macchio, and Patrick Swayze. 17 Next in 1984, he starred opposite Jodie Foster in Tony Richardson's The Hotel New Hampshire. 18 Lowe and Estevez reunited in St. Elmo's Fire, making them the two more prominent actors from the group known as the Brat Pack. About Last Night followed, with Demi Moore, who had starred alongside Lowe in St. Elmo's Fire. 19 He then received his second Golden Globe nomination for Best Supporting Actor for his role as the mentally disabled Rory in Square Dance, 1987. 20 In August 1987, he performed on stage, playing Baron Tasenbek in Chekhov's The Three Sisters at the Williamstown Theatre Festival. 21 In 1993, while filming a British TV production of the Tennessee Williams play Suddenly, Last Summer with Maggie Smith and Natasha Richardson, he recalled in an interview that he had run into Paul Newman 4 years earlier at the Williamstown Theatre Festival, and that Newman had encouraged him to continue to work in theatre. 22 In 1989, as part of the opening ceremony for the critically derided telecast of the 61st Academy Awards produced by Alan Carr, 23 Lowe made his musical debut singing a reworked duet of Creedence Clearwater Revival's Proud Mary alongside actress Eileen Bowman, 24, who was dressed as an unauthorized depiction of Snow White. 25 Lowe appeared in 1992's Wayne's World and 1994's The Stand, based on Stephen King's book of the same name. 26. 1999 to 2009, The West Wing and Acclaim. He played Sam Seaborn in the television series The West Wing from 1999 to 2003, and briefly in 2006. His performance in the show garnered Lowe a Primetime Emmy Award nomination, 27, and 2 Golden Globe nominations for Best Actor in a Drama Series. 28 Lowe was drawn to the role because of his personal love of politics, and his long-standing friendship with Martin Sheen, who was cast as President Josiah Bartlett. When the show premiered, Lowe was considered the lead, and the pilot centered on his character. But as other members of the cast including Allison Janney, Richard Schiff, Janelle Maloney, Dul Hill, John Spencer, Bradley Whitford, Martin Sheen, who was initially scripted as a small role, and Stockard Channing, whose First Lady was initially scripted as a guest role, grew more popular, Lowe's character no longer served as the show's main focus. Lowe and series creator Aaron Sorkin soon found themselves at odds over the network's meddling with the show, most notably the network demanding changes in Lowe's character. Eventually, Lowe left the series, not long before Sorkin and director/executive producer Thomas Schlam resigned over a dispute with NBC. During the final season of The West Wing, Lowe returned to his role of Sam Seaborn, appearing in 2 of the final 4 episodes. In 2011, Lowe stated on The Oprah Winfrey Show that he left the show because he did not feel he was being respected, when the other lead characters received a raise and he did not. 29 After leaving The West Wing, Lowe was the star and executive producer of a failed NBC drama, The Lion's Den, 2003. 30 In 2004, he tried again in a series entitled Dr. Vegas, but it also was quickly cancelled. 31. Lowe passed on the role of Derek Shepherd on Grey's Anatomy, which eventually went to Patrick Dempsey. 32. Despite his two cancelled TV series and flops like View from the Top and the made-for-TV movie Perfect Strangers during his post-West Wing run, 33. Lowe found success in the TV miniseries genre. In 2004, Lowe starred in the TNT remake of the Stephen King miniseries Salem's Lot, which was the highest-rated cable program of that summer and the highest ratings TNT original programming had at the time. 34. In 2005, he starred as Lieutenant Daniel Coffey in Sorkin's London West End production of A Few Good Men, the first time the two had worked together since The West Wing. Although Lowe had expressed unhappiness about his decreased role on that show at the time of his departure, he has now repeatedly said that any animosity between them is over and that he was pleased to be working once more with Sorkin. Citation needed. That same year, Lowe starred in the miniseries Beach Girls on the Lifetime Network, based on the Lou Anne Rice novel of the same name. 35. The series premiere received the highest ratings for a movie premiere in Lifetime history. Citation needed. Later, Lowe filmed his supporting role as a movie agent in the 2006 independent film Thank You for Smoking. 36. In 2006, he filmed The Perfect Day for TNT, in which he took a pay cut to film in New Orleans in order to help the Hurricane Katrina ravaged area. That same year, Lowe filmed Stir of Echoes, The Homecoming, the sequel to the 1999 Kevin Bacon thriller Stir of Echoes, and it was announced that Lowe would join the cast of Brothers and Sisters for a guest run of several episodes. In January 2007, ABC announced that Lowe would be staying on Brothers and Sisters as a special guest star for the rest of Season 1 after Lowe's initial appearance on the show in November 2006 brought the best ratings and demographic showing for the show since its premiere. Soon after, ABC announced an early Season 2 renewal for Brother and Sisters in March 2007, Lowe announced he would be returning for the show's second season. He continued to appear in the series until the end of the 2009-10 season. Then, Lowe announced he would leave, unhappy with the stories and his lack of screen time in the fourth season. In an episode broadcast on May 16, 2010, his character was part of a multi-vehicle crash involving a large truck and was put into a coma. The storyline was wrapped up in the first episode of the fifth season. Lowe did not appear in the episode. In June 2006, he was the guest host for an episode in the third series of the Friday Night Project for the United Kingdom's Channel 4. Lowe has also appeared in a televised advertisement for Visit California with other celebrities, including Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger. In the advertisement campaign, he was usually pictured in a white t-shirt printed with the California state flag. Lowe had a supporting role in the 2009 movie The Invention of Lying 37 and a leading role in Too Late to Say Goodbye. 38. 2010 to 2019, Parks and Recreation and other roles. Lowe testifying before the House Select Committee on Energy Independence and Global Warming in 2011. In 2010, he appeared in the biography of the Brat Packers called, Brat Pack, Where Are They Now? He also appeared on The Tonight Show with Conan O'Brien. That same year, he partnered with 44 Blue Productions to develop a reality television pilot titled Potomac Fever, intended to follow the lives of young professionals in Washington, D.C. A pilot was commissioned by the E! Network, but the series was not picked up for full production and ultimately did not air. 39. In July 2010, it was announced that Lowe would be providing the voice for the superhero Captain Marvel in the animated series Young Justice. 40. It was also announced in July 2010 that Lowe would become a series regular on the series Parks and Recreation. 41. He portrayed Chris Traeger, the relentlessly upbeat city manager of the fictional town of Pawnee, Indiana, for 4 seasons, before his character was written out of the show in 2014. He was so pleased with the show and his guest appearances on Season 2 that he agreed to become a full-fledged cast member. He reprised the role in the 2015 series finale, One Last Ride, and in the 2020 special episode of Parks and Recreation Special. In 2011, Lowe guest starred in a recurring role on Showtime's comedy Californication. Lowe featured as the troubled but in-demand actor Eddie Nero, a character based upon about 10 people, according to Lowe 42 but somewhat contradicted by sources at Showtime itself 43, employed to portray Hank in a film version of his book, Fucking and Punching. 44 In 2011, Lowe wrote a memoir titled Stories I Only Tell My Friends, which was released in May 2011. 45-46 During his promotional tour for Stories I Only Tell My Friends, Lowe told Australian radio show The Kyle and Jackie O Show that during his 5-day press visit to Australia in 1990, he was so badly affected by the overuse of painkillers that the only two things he remembers from the trip were being at the Sydney Zoo and getting a tattoo. 47 Although he states in his book that he does not remember getting the tattoo. In 2014, Lowe wrote a second book titled Love Life, which was released in April that year. He uses stories and observations from his life in a poignant and humorous series of true tales about men and women, art and commerce, fathers and sons, addiction and recovery, and sex and love. In 2014, Lowe starred in a pilot for the single-camera comedy The Pro as Ben Bertram, a former professional tennis player. 48 The pilot was not picked up for series. 49-50 He also narrated the 90s, The Last Great Decade, on the National Geographic Channel, which aired in July of that year. 51 In 2015, Lowe starred in the satirical thriller Pocket Listing. 52 Lowe has been a commercial spokesman for DirecTV since fall 2014. Commercials featuring Lowe contrast him with some alternate, less appealing form of Lowe, who instead has cable. 53 The advertisements were pulled in April 2015 after the National Advertising Division, acting on a complaint by Comcast, found DirecTV's claims about its customer satisfaction, quality, and ranking to be less than truthful. 54 In February 2015, Fox announced they had greenlit a pilot for the comedy The Grinder starring Lowe and Fred Savage, and directed by Jake Kasdan. 55 The series, in which Lowe starred as a washed-up actor starting a new career as a lawyer, was cancelled after one season. In November 2015, Lowe voiced Simba in the television pilot movie The Lion Guard, Return of the Roar. Lowe continued to voice Simba for its subsequent series The Lion Guard. 56 In December 2015, Lowe was honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. His star is located in front of the Musso and Frank Grill on Hollywood Boulevard. 57 In 2015, Lowe launched Profile trademark, 58 a men's skincare product line. The line features a collection of 5 anti-aging products specially formulated for men. It is currently sold at Nordstrom stores and online. 59 The product collection includes a cleanser, a shave gel, an aftershave serum, a moisturizer, and an eye serum in the price range of $24.50 to $59.50. 60 In 2016, Lowe launched a fragrance product line called 18 Amberwood with the Profile trademark brand. 61. On August 27, 2016, a Comedy Central Roast TV special was recorded and aired on September 5, 2016, with Rob Lowe as the roastee and David Spade as roast master. Amongst the roasters were Jewel, Nikki Glazer, Ralph Macchio, Pete Davidson, Peyton Manning, Rob Riggle, Jimmy Carr, Ann Coulter and the roast master General Jeff Ross. 62 On April 21, 2017, KFC released a campaign featuring Lowe as astronaut Colonel Sanders giving a JFK speech spoof/homage about launching the Zinger chicken sandwich into space. 63 Lowe said in a statement that when he was a child, his grandfather took him to meet Harlan Sanders. 64 In late autumn 2017, Lowe began a reality series with his two sons, 24-year-old Matthew and 22-year-old John Owen, on A&E titled The Lowe Files. With the exception of the hour-long pilot, the series featured 30-minute road trips with the Lowe boys, and occasional TV guest stars known in the field, investigating common urban myths and legends that Rob has loved since he was a young boy and has shared with his boys throughout their growth. Some of the topics being explored are Bigfoot/Sasquatch, the alleged unidentified submerged objects that may have a base off the coast from Los Angeles, alien abduction, and ghosts and their direct responses to stimuli. The series debuted on August 2, 2017, and lasted one season. Lowe has said he hadn't planned on more than one season because of scheduling difficulties. 65. On January 3, 2018, Atkins Nutritionals announced Lowe as a new brand spokesperson. Due to his low-carb lifestyle, Lowe was selected for a series of multimedia ads that were still appearing in 2024. 66-67 In October 2018, it was announced that Lowe would star in an ITV series, Wild Bill, about an American policeman who moves to Boston, Lincolnshire, with his daughter. 68 While the show was cancelled by ITV after one season, there were hopes it would be picked up by Netflix or Hulu at a future date. 69 On March 19, 2019, Lowe began hosting the Fox competition series Mental Samurai, where he also served as a producer. It lasted 2 seasons. 70. 2020, present. Lowe began hosting a podcast called Literally with Rob Lowe on June 25, 2020. Guests included Chris Pratt and Conan O'Brien. 71 In September 2021, Lowe launched a second podcast, a Parks and Recreation recap show called Parks and Recollection, alongside Parks and Rec writer and producer Alan Yang. 72 Lowe directed a short documentary, Madness in the Hills, which is about the mudslides that killed 23 people in Southern California in January 2018, including many friends and neighbors of Lowe. It debuted on the Peacock streaming service on October 9, 2020. 73 On May 12, 2019, it was announced that a spin-off the 9-1-1 series titled 9-1-1, Lone Star was ordered to series with Lowe in the starring role of Owen Strand. 74 The series premiered on January 19, 2020, to generally favorable reviews and was renewed for a second season, which premiered on January 18, 2021. The fifth and final season concluded on February 3, 2025. 75. In June 2021, as a surprise birthday present to his wife, he fulfilled her dream to be a contestant with him and their children on Celebrity Family Feud. 76 On August 6, 2021, Deadline revealed that Lowe will star and executive produce the Netflix movie Doggone. 77 Lowe will offer commentary in the Andy Warhol Diaries, premiering on Netflix on March 9, 2022. 78 On April 6, 2022, it was announced that Lowe will star in and executive produce Unstable with Victor Fresco and his son John Owen Lowe for Netflix. 79 The show, which follows Lowe as successful biotech entrepreneur Ellis Dragon as he struggles to deal with his son and regain his footing following the death of his wife, premiered on March 30, 2023. 80. In January 2024 he began hosting The Floor, a trivia game show. In March 2024 he signed a production deal with Fox following the show's renewal on the network for seasons 2 and 3. 81 In 2024, he appeared in Andrew McCarthy's Hulu documentary about the Brat Pack titled Brats. 82 He said on his podcast in 2025 and in a subsequent magazine article that he declined an unspecified television series because it was going to film in New York, as part of a larger conversation criticizing lack of support for the film industry in Los Angeles and the United States, noting that he filmed The Floor in Dublin. 83-84. Personal life. Lowe with wife Cheryl Burkhoff in 2003. Family and relationships. Lowe has been married to former makeup artist Cheryl Burkhoff since 1991. She has worked as an interior designer and founder of Cheryl Lowe Jewelry. 76 They met on a blind date in 1983, and again on the set of Lowe's movie Bad Influence. 85 They have two sons, Matthew Edward Lowe, b. 1993, and John Owen Lowe, b. 1995. 2. Lowe is a fan of the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Los Angeles Rams. 86, 87, 88. Sex tape. In 1988, Lowe, who was 24 years old at the time, was involved in a sex scandal over a videotape of him having sex with two people, one of whom was 22 and the other her 16-year-old friend. The three met at Club Rio, an Atlanta nightclub. They were videotaped the night before the 1988 Democratic National Convention in Atlanta, Georgia. As the age of consent in Georgia was 14 at the time, in 1995 it was raised to 16, both were of legal age to engage in sexual activity, but 18 was the legal age to be involved in such a recording. 4 At the time, Lowe was campaigning for Michael Dukakis. 89-90 Eventually, his career rebounded and Lowe mocked his own behavior during two post-scandal appearances as host of Saturday Night Live. 91. Sobriety. Lowe began drinking heavily as a teenager. His early fame allowed him to lead a hard-partying lifestyle that was covered extensively in the tabloids. 92 In 1990, 2 years following the sex tape scandal, Lowe decided to quit drinking and completed an extensive alcohol rehabilitation program. 93 He has maintained sobriety ever since, saying it was the best decision of his life. 94-95 Adopting a daily transcendental meditation practice has been instrumental to his well-being. It's changed my life, says Lowe. 96. Legal issues. In April 2008, Lowe filed separate lawsuits against 3 former employees, accusing them of breach of contract, defamation, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Lowe accused an ex-nanny of engaging in a scheme to hurt him and his wife by spreading malicious lies. Another former nanny was accused of falsely claiming to have had a personal and intimate relationship with Lowe, and also repeatedly expressing romantic interest in Lowe, claiming Lowe sexually harassed her and that Cheryl Lowe was an abusive employer. Lowe also claimed a former chef engaged in sex on their bed when the family was out of town, stole prescription drugs from the Lowes, broke several security cameras, overcharged them for food, and allegedly made statements to various people that Cheryl was heartless, cold, and unclean. 97. Jessica Gibson, Lowe's 24-year-old former nanny, made 12 allegations against Lowe involving sexual harassment claims and labor code violations. On June 19, 2008, Santa Barbara, California, Superior Court Judge Denise de Belfoyle dismissed 2 allegations regarding labor code violations due to lack of legal basis. 98 The legal battle ended in May 2009. The press reported that court records showed that lawsuits filed by both nannies and Lowe were dismissed in Santa Barbara. Attorneys for both women and Lowe sought the dismissals. 99. Philanthropy. Lowe was the first male spokesman for the 2000 Lee National Denim Day fundraiser, which raises money for breast cancer research and education. His grandmother and great-grandmother both suffered from breast cancer, and his mother died of the disease in late 2003. 101. Lowe is a founder of the Homeowners Defense Fund, a Santa Barbara County nonprofit, nonpartisan organization dedicated to local control of land use planning and transparency in government. The average price of tract homes in Santa Barbara in early 2006 was $1,100,000, which motivated some to propose denser housing on existing lots. While in favor of increasing housing density, Lowe sought to build a 14,260 square foot, 1,325 square meters, mansion for himself on an empty lot in Montecito, California. 102 His protest over the appearance of the address of the empty lot in the Santa Barbara News Press precipitated a mass resignation of senior employees at that newspaper on July 6, 2006. Danny Glover, /LVR/GLUVR, born July 22, 1946, is an American actor, producer, and political activist. Over his career he has received numerous accolades, including the Jean Hers Holt Humanitarian Award from the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, the NAACP's President's Award, as well as nominations for 5 Emmy Awards and 4 Grammy Awards. Glover made his film acting debut in Escape from Alcatraz in 1979. He rose to fame in the late 1980s for playing Roger Murtaugh in the Lethal Weapon film series. Glover's other notable films include Places in the Heart, 1984, The Color Purple, 1985, Witness, 1985, To Sleep with Anger, 1990, Predator 2, 1990, Grand Canyon, 1991, Bofa. 1993, Angels in the Outfield, 1994, The Royal Tenenbaums, 2001, Saw, 2004, Dreamgirls, 2006, Shooter, 2007, Be Kind Rewind, 2008, 2012, 2009, Death at a Funeral, 2010, Beyond the Lights, 2014, Sorry to Bother You, 2018, and The Last Black Man in San Francisco, 2019. He is known for his work in television, receiving 4 Primetime Emmy Award nominations for his roles as Nelson Mandela in the HBO television film Mandela, 1987, Joshua Dietz in CBS Western miniseries Lonesome Dove, 1989, Philip Marlowe in the Showtime neo-noir series Fallen Angels, 1995, and Will Walker in TNT biographical film Freedom Song, 2000. He had recurring roles in Hill Street Blues, ER, and Brothers and Sisters. Glover is also an active supporter of various political causes. He is a member of the Trans-Africa Forum and the Center for Economic and Policy Research. For his political work, he was awarded the Cuban National Medal of Friendship by the Cuban Council of State. Early life and education. Glover was born on July 22, 1946 in San Francisco, California, the son of Carrie, née Hunley, and James Glover. Both of his parents were postal workers. And were active in the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, NAACP, working to advance equal rights. Glover's mother, daughter of a midwife, was born in Louisville, Georgia, and graduated from Payne College in Augusta, Georgia. His father was a World War II veteran. He graduated from George Washington High School in San Francisco. 6. As an adolescent and a young adult, Glover had epilepsy but has not had a seizure since age 35. 7. He attended San Francisco State University, SFSU, in the late 1960s but did not graduate. SFSU later awarded him the Presidential Medal of San Francisco State University for his service to education. 8. Glover trained at the Black Actors Workshop of the American Conservatory Theater. 9. Career. 1979 to 1984, early roles. Glover in 1997. Glover originally worked in city administration working on community development 10 before transitioning to theater. He has said, "I didn't think it was a difficult transition. Acting is a platform that can become a conveyor for ideas. Art is a way of understanding, of confronting issues and confronting your own feelings all within that realm of the capacity it represents. It may have been a leap of faith for me, given not only my learning disability, dyslexia, but also the fact that I felt awkward. I felt all the things that someone that's 6 feet 3 inches or 6 feet 4 inches feels, and with my own diminished expectations of who I could be and would feel. Whether it's art, acting or theater that I've devoted myself to, I put more passion and more energy into it." 11. His first theater involvement was with the American Conservatory Theater, a regional training program in San Francisco. 12. Glover also trained with Gene Shelton at the Shelton Actors Lab in San Francisco. In an interview on Inside the Actors Studio, Glover credited Gene Shelton for much of his development as an actor. Deciding that he wanted to be an actor, Glover resigned from his city administration job and soon began his career as a stage actor. Glover then moved to Los Angeles for more opportunities in acting. Citation needed. Glover made his film acting debut in Escape from Alcatraz, 1979. He has since had a variety of film, stage, and television roles. His earlier work included a recurring role on Hill Street Blues, and the role of Moses Hadner in the 1984 drama film Places in the Heart. 1985 to 2000, breakthrough and acclaim. Glover gained acclaim in 1985. Citation needed, starring as the husband to Whoopi Goldberg's character Celie in the celebrated literary adaptation The Color Purple. The same year he played Lieutenant James McPhee in the crime thriller film Witness, and Mal in the western film Silverado. Glover is best known for playing Los Angeles Police Sergeant Roger Murtaugh in the action film Lethal Weapon, 1987, and in the 1989, 1992, and 1998 sequels of the film series, starring alongside Mel Gibson. He received Primetime Emmy Award citation needed nominations for his roles as Nelson Mandela in the HBO television film Mandela, 1987, and Joshua Dietz in CBS Western miniseries Lonesome Dove, 1989. In 1990, he earned top billing for the first time in the blockbuster Predator 2 with Gary Busey, the sequel to the science fiction action film Predator. That same year, he starred in Charles Burnett's To Sleep with Anger, for which he won the Independent Spirit Award for Best Male Lead. Citation needed. He also appeared in films such as Grand Canyon, 1991, and Bofa, 1993. During his career, Glover has also made several cameos, appearing, for example, in the Michael Jackson video Liberian Girl of 1987. In 1994, Glover and actor Ben Guillory founded the Roby Theater Company in Los Angeles in honor of the actor and concert singer Paul Robeson. 13. Its purpose was to focus on theater by and about black people. 14. Also in 1994, Glover made his directorial debut with the Showtime Channel short film Override. That same year, he played the role of baseball manager George Knox in Angels in the Outfield for Walt Disney Pictures. Disney originally wanted Bob Hoskins for the role of George Knox, but he was considered too short for the role and Glover was cast because of his height and is the same size as the actors playing the California Angels. Citation needed. In common with Humphrey Bogart, Elliot Gould, and Robert Mitchum, who have played Raymond Chandler's private eye detective Philip Marlowe, Glover played the role in the episode Red Wind of the Showtime Network's 1995 series Fallen Angels, earning him a Primetime Emmy Award citation needed nomination. Also that year, Glover played Captain Sam Cahill in the war film Operation Dumbo Drop. 15. In 1997, under his former production company Banner Carey Films, Glover executive produced numerous films of first-time directors including Pam Malveau's neo-noir short film Final Act starring Joe Morton, which aired on the Independent Film Channel. In 1998, he starred as Paul D. in the drama film Beloved, based on Toni Morrison's novel. In addition, Glover has been a voice actor in many children's movies including The Prince of Egypt, 1998, Ants, 1998, and Our Friend, Martin, 1999. In 2000, he played Will Walker in TNT biographical film Freedom Song, which earned him another Primetime Emmy Award citation needed nomination. 2001, present, established actor. Glover was featured in the Wes Anderson-directed 2001 film The Royal Tenenbaums, also starring Gwyneth Paltrow, Angelica Houston, Ben Stiller and Owen Wilson. Glover at the 2014 Phoenix Comic-Con. In 2004, he appeared in the low-budget horror film Saw as Detective David Tapp. In 2005, Glover and Jocelyn Barnes announced plans to make No Fear 16, a film about Dr. Marcia Coleman-Atabia's experience. Coleman-Atabia won a 2000 jury trial against the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, EPA. The jury found the EPA guilty of violating the civil rights of Coleman-Atabia on the basis of race, sex, color, and a hostile work environment, under the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Colmanatibia was terminated shortly after she revealed the environmental and human disaster taking place in the Brits, South Africa vanadium mines. Her experience inspired the passage of the Notification and Federal Employee Anti-Discrimination and Retaliation Act of 2002, No Fear Act. As of 2013 the No Fear title has not appeared, but the Marcia Colmanatibia story was announced as the next major project of No Fear Media Productions. 17. Glover portrayed David Keaton in the television film The Exonerated, 2005, a real-life story of Keaton's experience of being arrested, jailed, and then freed from death row. In 2006, he voiced Miles, an elderly mule, in the animated film Barnyard, and played Marty Madison in the musical Dreamgirls. In 2007, he played Colonel Isaac Johnson in the action thriller Shooter. In 2009, Glover performed in The People Speak, a documentary feature film that uses dramatic and musical performances of the letters, diaries, and speeches of everyday Americans, based on historian Howard Zinn's A People's History of the United States. 18. He also had recurring roles on the shows ER and Brothers and Sisters. Glover played President Thomas Wilson, the President of the United States in 2012, a disaster film directed by Roland Emmerich and released in theaters November 13, 2009. In 2010, Glover participated in the black comedy film Death at a Funeral, and a Spanish film called I Want to Be a Soldier. In 2012, he starred in the film Donovan's Echo. Glover in 2014. Glover co-starred in the science fiction comedy film Sorry to Bother You 19, which was released in theaters on July 6, 2018. 20. He also appeared in the film The Last Black Man in San Francisco, 2019. In December 2019, he played Milo Walker in the action comedy film Jumanji, The Next Level, starring Dwayne Johnson, Kevin Hart, Jack Black, and Karen Gillan. Glover played Mark Walker in the indie drama film The Drummer, 2020. He appeared in an episode of the ABC sitcom Blackish, 2014 to 2022, as Uncle Norman in 2020. He played Jerry in the comedy American Dreamer, 2022. He played Cooper in the romantic drama Press Play, 2022. He played Santa Claus in the Disney Plus original movie The Naught 9, 2023. He played Michael Tedeschi in the film Double Soul, 2023. 21. Unrealized projects. This section needs to be updated. Please help update this article to reflect recent events or newly available information. August 2019. Glover sought to make a film biography of Toussaint Louverture for his directorial debut. In May 2006, the film had included cast members Wesley Snipes, Angela Bassett, Don Cheadle, Jonathan Rhys-Meyers, Chiwetel Ejiofor, Roger Guenveur-Smith, Mos Def, Isach Dabankali and Richard Boehringer. Production, estimated to cost $30 million, was planned to begin in Poland, filming from late 2006 into early 2007. 22. In May 2007, President of Venezuela Hugo Chavez contributed $18 million to fund the production of Toussaint for Glover, who was a prominent U.S. supporter of Chavez. The contribution annoyed some Venezuelan filmmakers, who said the money could have funded other homegrown films and that Glover's film was not even about Venezuela. 23-24. In April 2008, the Venezuelan National Assembly authorized an additional $9,840,505 for Glover's film. 25. In 2015, Glover gave an update on the Toussaint project, stating, "The film that we always missed is a movie on the Haitian Revolution and Toussaint Louverture. The company is fortuitously named after him, and that was the movie that I wanted to do. We've developed a script. We thought we were going to get it done 4 years ago. We thought we were going to be making it right now. But also there are other kinds of things that intrigue me." 26. Public appearances. Glover appeared at London Film and Comic Con 2013, at Earl's Court 2 over 2.5 days during Friday 5th to Sunday July 7th. He participated in a panel discussion in Macomb, Mississippi on July 16, 2015. 27 The event, co-sponsored by the Gloucester Project and Jubilee Performing Arts Center, included noted authors Terry McMillan and Quincy Troop. On January 30, 2015, Glover was the keynote speaker and 2015 honoree for the Milk Celebration Series at the Rhode Island School of Design, Providence, Rhode Island. Glover used his career and personal story to speak on the topic Creativity and Democracy, Social Change Through the Arts. At the University of the Virgin Islands, Glover gave a speech that encouraged the graduates in their upcoming journey. 28. It was announced in July 2018 that Glover will be the featured guest at the Port Townsend Film Festival in Washington State. Citation needed. Personal life. Glover married Asaki Bomani in 1975 and they have a daughter, Mandisa, born in 1976. Glover and Bomani divorced in 2000. Glover married Elaine Cavaliero in 2009. 29 They divorced in 2022. 30. Glover purchased a 6,000 square foot, 560 square meters, house in Dunthorpe, Oregon, in 1999. 31-32 As of 2011, he no longer lives in Oregon. 33. Activism. Civil rights activism. Glover speaks at a March for Immigrants' Rights in Madison, Wisconsin, in 2007. While attending San Francisco State University, SFSU, Glover was a member of the Black Students Union 34 which, along with the Third World Liberation Front and the American Federation of Teachers, collaborated in a 5-month student-led strike to establish a Department of Black Studies. The strike was the longest student walkout in U.S. history. 35 It helped create not only the first Department of Black Studies but also the first School of Ethnic Studies in the United States. Citation needed. Harry Dillon, current president of the Vanguard Public Foundation, was a fellow striker at SFSU. Glover later co-chaired Vanguard's board. He is also a board member of the Algebra Project, the Black AIDS Institute, Walden House, and Cheryl Byron's Something Positive dance group. He was charged with disorderly conduct and unlawful assembly after being arrested outside the Sudanese embassy in Washington during a protest over Sudan's humanitarian crisis in Darfur. 36. In 1999, he used his leverage as a former San Francisco cab driver to raise awareness about African Americans being passed over for white passengers. 37 In response, Rudolph Giuliani launched Operation Refusal, which suspended the licenses of cab drivers who favored white passengers over black ones. 38. Glover's long history of union activism includes support for the United Farm Workers, Unite Here, and numerous service unions. 39 In March 2010, Glover supported 375 union workers in Ohio by calling upon all actors at the 2010 Academy Awards to boycott Hugo Boss suits following announcement of Hugo Boss's decision to close a manufacturing plant in Ohio after a proposed pay decrease from $13 to $8.30 an hour was rejected by the Workers' United Union. 40. On November 1, 2011, Glover spoke to the crowd at Occupy Oakland on the day before the Oakland general strike where thousands of protesters shut down the Port of Oakland. 41. Political activism. Glover was an early supporter of former North Carolina Senator John Edwards in the 2008 Democratic presidential primaries until Edwards' withdrawal. 42 Although some news reports indicated that he had endorsed Ohio Congressman Dennis Kucinich 43 whom he had endorsed in 2004. 44 After Edwards dropped out, Glover then endorsed Barack Obama. 45 In February 2016, Glover endorsed Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders for the Democratic presidential nomination. 46 In February 2019, Glover again endorsed Sanders for U.S. President in 2020. 47. In 2017, he co-authored a petition along with Noam Chomsky, Mark Ruffalo, Nancy Fraser, Oliver Stone, and Yves Ensler, urging French citizens to vote for candidate Jean-Luc Mélenchon in the 2017 presidential election. 48. Glover was an outspoken critic of George W. Bush, calling him a known racist. Yes, he's racist. We all knew that. As Texas's governor, Bush led a penitentiary system that executed more people than all the other U.S. states together. And most of the people who died were Afro-Americans or Hispanics. 49. Glover's support of Proposition 7 led him to use his voice in an automated phone call to generate support for the measure before the election. 50. On April 16, 2010, Glover was arrested in Maryland during a protest by SAU workers for Sodexo's alleged unfair and illegal treatment of workers. 51. He was given a citation and later released. The Associated Press reports Glover and others stepped past yellow police tape and were asked to step back 3 times at Sodexo headquarters. When they refused, officers arrested them. 52. On the foreign policy of the Obama administration, Glover said, "I think the Obama administration has followed the same playbook, to a large extent, almost verbatim, as the Bush administration. I don't see anything different. On the domestic side, look here, what's so clear is that this country from the outset is protecting the interests of wealth and property. Look at the bailout of Wall Street. Why not the bailout of Main Street? He may be just a different face, and that face may happen to be black, and if it were Hillary Clinton, it would happen to be a woman. But what choices do they have within the structure?" 53. Glover wrote the foreword to Phyllis Benny's book, Challenging Empire, How People, Governments, and the UN Defy U.S. Power. 54. Glover is also a member of the board of directors of the Center for Economic and Policy Research, a think tank led by economist Dean Baker. International. Glover in Ecuador in November 2013, protesting against Chevron and issues relating to the Lago Agrio oil field. Africa. Glover is an active board member of the Trans-Africa Forum. 55. On April 6, 2009, Glover was given a chieftaincy title in Imo State, Nigeria. 56. His title, Inayima of Nkwere, means a good friend in the language of the Igbo people of eastern Nigeria. Citation needed. Brazil. In 2018, Glover, as the UN Goodwill Ambassador, met with Lula to express solidarity and support for his presidential candidacy. During a trip to Brazil, he also met with the family of Marielle Franco, the city council member and LGBT activist murdered in Rio de Janeiro. 57. Caribbean and Haiti. On January 13, 2010, Glover compared the scale and devastation of the 2010 Haiti earthquake to the predicament other island nations may face as a result of the failed Copenhagen summit the previous year. Glover said, "The threat of what happens to Haiti is a threat that can happen anywhere in the Caribbean to these island nations. They're all in peril because of global warming, because of climate change. When we did what we did at the climate summit in Copenhagen, this is the response, this is what happens." 58. In the same statement, he called for a new form of international partnership with Haiti and other Caribbean nations and praised Venezuela, Brazil, and Cuba for already accepting this partnership. Iraq War. Glover had been an outspoken critic of the Iraq War before it began in March 2003. In February 2003, he was one of the featured speakers at Justin Herman Plaza in San Francisco, where other notable speakers included names such as author Alice Walker, singer Joan Baez, United Farm Workers co-founder Dolores Huerta and Rep. Barbara Lee, D. Oakland. Glover was a signatory to the April 2003 anti-war letter to the conscience of the world that criticized the unilateral American invasion of Iraq that led to massive loss of civilian life and devastation of one of the cultural patrimonies of humanity. 59. During an anti-war demonstration in downtown Oakland in March 2003, Glover praised the community leaders for their anti-war efforts, saying that they're on the front lines because they are trying to make a better America. The world has come together and said no to this war, and we must stand with them. Citation needed. Venezuela. In January 2006, Harry Belafonte led a delegation of activists, including Glover, activist/Professor Cornel West, and activist/Santa Cruz Barrios Unidas founder and executive director Daniel Nane Alejandrez, in a meeting with President of Venezuela Hugo Chavez. In 2006, Glover had begun working on a film about Toussaint Louverture, who led the 18th century revolt in Haiti, and it was reported that Chavez supported the film, hoping the historical epic will sprinkle Hollywood stardust on his effort to mobilize world public opinion against imperialism and Western oppression. 6061. In 2007, Glover agreed with Venezuelan President Hugo Chavez that the Toussaint Louverture film would be financed by Venezuela. On May 19, 2007, the National Assembly of Venezuela approved giving Glover $18 million for the film. 62. The following year, on April 9, 2008, the National Assembly of Venezuela, at the request of the Chavez, approved another $9 million to be handed to Glover in order to continue the filming of the film about Toussaint. Surprisingly, in an interview dated January 5, 2015, published in Filmmaker magazine, Glover says, "The film that we always missed is a movie on the Haitian Revolution and Toussaint Louverture. The company is fortuitously named after him, and that was the movie that I wanted to do. We've developed a script. We thought we were going to get it done 4 years ago. We thought we were going to be making it right now. But also there are other kinds of things that intrigue me." As of 2015, the film had not been made. 63. Glover was also a board member of Telesur, a media network primarily funded by the Venezuelan government. 60. During the beginning of the 2014 Venezuelan protests, Glover extended his support to Chavez's successor, President Nicolas Maduro, calling members of his government the stewards of Venezuela's democracy. Glover also told Venezuelan government supporters to go fight for the sovereignty of Maduro's government. 64. Through the crisis in Bolivarian Venezuela, Glover continued to show his support for the Bolivarian government and President Maduro's administration. 65. Israel-Palestine. On September 2, 2009, Glover signed an open letter of objection to the inclusion of a series of films intended to showcase Tel Aviv without the participation of Palestinian filmmakers, at the Toronto International Film Festival. 66. Music. Glover has become an active member of the board of directors of the Jazz Foundation of America. 67. He became involved with the Jazz Foundation in 2005, and has been a featured host for their annual benefit A Great Night in Harlem 68 for several years, as well appearing as a celebrity MC at other events for the foundation. In 2006, Britain's leading African theatre company Toyota Fahaji appointed Glover as one of its 3 patrons, joining Chiwetel Ejiofor and Jocelyn Zecn opening the organization's 10th anniversary celebrations, February 2, 2008, at the Theatre Royal Stratford East, London. Citation needed. Filmography. Main article, Danny Glover Filmography. Awards and honors. Main article, list of awards and nominations received by Danny Glover. In 2010, Glover delivered the commencement address and was awarded an honorary Doctor of Humane Letters degree from Utah State University. 69. He was also the recipient of a tribute paid by the Deauville American Film Festival in France on September 7, 2011. 70. Glover was awarded the Cuban National Medal of Friendship by the Cuban Council of State on December 29, 2016, in a ceremony in Havana for his solidarity with the Cuban Five during their time of incarceration in the United States. 71. 72. 73. On March 25, 2022, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, AMPAS, presented Glover with the Jean Hers Holt Humanitarian Award at the Governor's Awards ceremony. 74, 75, 76. In 2023, he was inducted into the Black Music and Entertainment Walk of Fame in Atlanta, Georgia. 77. IndieWire named him one of the best actors never to have received an Academy Award nomination. Holt McCallany, born Holt Quinn McCallany, September 3, 1963, is an American actor. He is known for portraying FBI Special Agent Bill Tench on the series Mindhunter, 2017-19, and has had leading and supporting roles in various television series and films, including Lights Out, Fight Club, Three Kings, Shot Caller, Wrath of Man, Nightmare Alley, and The Iron Claw. Early life. McCallany was born September 3, 1963, in New York City, to theatrical parents. Citation needed. His mother, Julie Wilson, 1924-2015, was an American singer and actress, widely regarded as the Queen of Cabaret. 2. His father, Michael McCallany, 1924-2000, was an Irish actor and producer best known for his Tony Award-winning production of Brendan Behan's Borstal Boy, an autobiographical play about a young member of the Irish Republican Army, which was the first Irish production to win top honors on Broadway. Because his father wanted a classical education for his two sons, McCallany and his younger brother were sent to live with another family in Dublin, while his parents stayed in New York City, working. In Ireland, he attended a state elementary school in Howth. 3. However, following his parents' divorce, the children moved back to the United States. He attended school first in New Jersey and was later sent to live with his maternal grandparents in Omaha, Nebraska, where he had a troubled childhood and was expelled from Creighton Preparatory School. At the age of 14, he ran away from home and took a Greyhound bus to Los Angeles to pursue his dream of becoming an actor, but ended up with a job in a factory unloading trucks. His parents eventually tracked him down and sent him back to Ireland to a boarding school in County Kildare that his father had attended 40 years earlier, Newbridge College. 4. He soon left Ireland and eventually was allowed to return to Creighton Preparatory School, and graduated in 1981. After high school, he went to France to continue his education, first to study French at the Sorbonne and art at the Paris American Academy, and later theatre at l'École Marcel Marceau and l'École Jacques Lecoq. McCallany spent a summer studying Shakespeare at Oxford University and went with a production of Twelfth Night to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival before moving to New York City to begin his professional acting career. 5. Career. His first job in the professional theater was as an apprentice actor at the Great Lakes Shakespeare Festival in Cleveland, Ohio, in the same apprenticeship once served by Tom Hanks, among others. Subsequently, he returned to New York City and was cast as an understudy in the Broadway production of Biloxi Blues. McCallany landed a series of supporting parts in such films as Casualties of War, Alien 3, Creepshow 2, The Search for One-Eye Jimmy and Jade, as well as the TV miniseries Rough Riders. After playing the legendary boxing trainer Teddy Atlas in the HBO telefilm Tyson, he became a supporter of the Atlas Foundation charity, a grassroots organization dedicated to helping children and families with medical and financial hardships. Citation needed. He continued working in films and television throughout the 90s and 2000s with roles in films such as Fight Club, Three Kings, Men of Honor and Below, among others. He played a detective with psychological problems in CSI, Miami and a soldier with post-traumatic stress disorder on Criminal Minds. He appeared in the 2010 Warner Brothers film, The Losers, based on the graphic novel from DC Comics. McCallany also was the star of the 2011 FX television series, Lights Out, playing an aging boxer, Patrick Lights Leary, forced out of retirement and into a comeback bid to regain the heavyweight title, despite having pugilistic dementia. Citation needed. He followed this with roles in films like Sully, Shot Caller, and Black Cod, among many others. From 2017 to 2019, McCallany co-starred in the Netflix series Mindhunter for director David Fincher. He played Bill Tench, an FBI agent researching serial killers in the late 1970s. 6. His first French-language film, an adaptation of the Georges Feydeau comedy Les Dindons, was released in September 2019. Monster Trucks is a 2016 American live-action animated monster comedy film produced by Paramount Animation, Nickelodeon Movies, and Disruption Entertainment for Paramount Pictures. It was directed by Chris Wedge, in both his live-action directorial debut and first directorial effort outside of his own company Blue Sky Studios, and written by Derek Connolly, from a story by Matthew Robinson, Jonathan Abel, and Glenn Berger. 4. The film stars Lucas Till, Jane Levy, Amy Ryan, Rob Lowe, Danny Glover, Barry Pepper, Thomas Lennon, and Holt McCallany, and follows Trip Coley, a young junkyard employee who finds a subterranean creature living in his truck. The film was first released on December 21, 2016, in France, then on January 13, 2017, in the United States. It received mixed reviews from critics and was considered by analysts to be a box office bomb, grossing $64.5 million worldwide against a $125 million budget. 5, 6, 7. Plot. Turavix Oil is in the midst of a fracking operation in North Dakota, overseen by CEO Reese Tennyson and geologist Jim Dowd. The operation releases a trio of squid-like creatures from underground and destroys the drilling rig. 2 are captured by Turavix, but one of them escapes. Meanwhile, high school senior Trip Coley has taken up a job at a junkyard, where he builds a pickup truck in hopes of being able to leave his town, but the truck lacks a working drivetrain. One night, Trip encounters the escaped creature in the junkyard and captures it, but the creature escapes before he can seek authorities. The next day, Trip discovers that the creature feeds on oil and has taken shelter in the hood of his truck. He befriends him, names him Creech, and promises to help him get home. Trip modifies the truck to give Creech more control as a makeshift engine. The truck acts as a wheelchair for Creech to operate. Meanwhile, Tennyson is still concerned about the incident at the drilling rig, since similar experiments have revealed the existence of other creatures. He decides to protect the company's image by drilling poison into a hole leading to the underwater tunnels, and by sending hired mercenary Burke to kill their captured creatures, to the objection of Dowd, as he finds the monsters have significant intelligence and emotions as well as a hive mind intelligence that allows both of the captured specimens to learn what was taught to one. Trip and his classmate Meredith, whom he has told about Creech, seek help from his estranged father Wade, but Wade sells Trip out to Burke. Trip and Meredith escape in the truck with Creech and are chased by Burke and his team along with Rick, the local sheriff and Trip's stepfather. They escape by jumping over a MRL local with an EMD MP-15 DC lead train, and camping at a hunting cabin. When Creech gets the sense something bad will happen to the other creatures, he heads to Turavix headquarters where they are being held captive. Trip and Meredith follow Creech. When they arrive, they find Creech's parents, but are attacked by Turavix workers. Creech is captured, and Trip and Meredith are taken to Tennyson. Dowd decides to help Trip and Meredith rescue the creatures. They acquire 2 more trucks and modify the trucks for Creech's parents to control. Dowd helps the group by stealing the Turavix truck on which Creech's parents are loaded. At the dealership, the creatures take control of the modified trucks, and the group make their escape up the mountain leading to the tunnels. Turavix gives chase up the mountain and the group escapes. On the way, Rick helps Trip and the group escape from Burke, preventing Burke from ramming them off the road and later stealing a large truck to block the road to prevent further pursuit. After realizing the poison has been inserted, Trip gets into a head-on battle with Burke, who attempts to push him into the drilling hole, but it ends when Trip and Creech overturn Burke's truck, destroying the poison machine and apparently killing Burke when his truck is thrown into the equipment. Creech saves Trip from drowning before he and his parents return underground, while Turavix is exposed for the experimentation that was harming the creature's habitat. Tennyson is arrested for his crimes. Trip and Rick grow closer and rebuild a V8 engine for the truck, and Trip and Meredith begin a relationship. Cast: Lucas Till 8 as Trip Coley, a high school senior. Jane Levy 8 as Meredith, Trip's tutor and love interest. Amy Ryan 9 as Cynthia Cindy Coley, Trip's mother, Wade's ex-wife, and Rick's new live-in wife. Rob Lowe 10 as Reese Tennyson, the CEO of Turavix. Danny Glover 11 as Mr. Weathers, Trip's paraplegic boss. Barry Pepper 12 as Sheriff Richard Rick Lovick, the local sheriff, Cindy's new live-in husband, and Trip's stepfather. Holt McCallany 13 as Burke, Reese's henchman. Frank Whaley 11 as Wade Coley, Trip's estranged father and Cindy's ex-husband. Thomas Lennon 14 as Dr. Jim Dowd, a scientist. Tucker Albraza 15 as Sam Golden, Trip's friend. Samara Weaving as Brienne. Daniel Bacon as technician. Alia O'Brien as junior scientist. Production. On July 31, 2013, Paramount Animation announced that they were developing a new live-action/animated franchise, with an entry film titled Monster Trucks, and Jonathan Abel and Glenn Berger set to write the film's script. For the pitch was created by Paramount's president Adam Goodman alongside his 4-year-old son. 16 Chris Wedge was set to direct the film, with Mary Parent producing and an initial release date set for May 29, 2015. 417 production took place